Hi and welcome back. So it took a little longer to get to the painting video than I expected after my haul video. I had lighting issues, but we finally got a new lamp. And so I hope the bad flickering days are done. And something happened to this collection of watercolor paints. The first ones are the same as in the haul. That's all the Roman Szmal. All the others here are things I put in here. I deliberately made a little bit of an odd choice of colors from Roman Szmal because there was paints I didn't need. Like, I don't need phthalo blue. There's at least one here. There's probably two. I think one of these are phthalo blue. I don't need generic yellows, for instance, generic reds. I have a whole ton of earth colors and stuff, so I was more going for favorite pigments and greens. I don't have a lot of good convenience greens. And as you can see, I have been painting with the colors in this because there's obvious signs. But it was just not good for filming. But with a new lamp, I hope we can get there. So what is in here? Well, those 5 from yellow to black is primary yellow, primary cyan, primary magenta, the old dragon blood, and carbon black from my Mary Blue. It's an Italian brand. It's brilliant. All the next ones down to there are all from Sennelier. I'm not gonna tell you all the names of them because I don't remember. That one is an Old Holland black. It's wine black. Then there's 2 Schminke Horadam colors here. There's titanium gold ochre and perylene green. And I know I got them up here too from Roman Szmal also, but that perylene green is darker than the perylene green I bought here, and that titanium gold ochre is lighter than Roman Szmal's version. It's the same pigment, PBR24 if I'm not mistaken. Then I have a whole bunch of earth tones up to here, and those are all Rembrandt. And all of these are duplicates from, actually also the last 2 are also Rembrandts and duplicates from my Rembrandt palette I have. I'm not entirely sure why I made pans, but I want to use these up. I got 3 or 4 more Schminke colors, no, not Schminke, Sennelier colors, and I actually want to put them in here, but I need to use up some of these earth tones. And there's other than the earth tones, what is here? I think that is raw umber. There's a burnt sienna, raw umber. That's a light red oxide that's been discontinued, but I got some old paints here. Indian red, Venetian red and Indian red, and transparent red oxide, transparent brown oxide. I forgot what that is. I think it's a sepia, indigo, and I think that's their Hugo's green. Not entirely sure, but it doesn't really matter. So if there's something short on that, I can use the other here. I have a lot of paint that I want to use, and I think it's all gonna go into this one here. And as there will be space for more, I might build out with more Roman Szmal colors. But I need to use up some paint, and there's no point in buying. For instance, I remember one of these two is, I think it's this one, that's like a quinacridone red, and that is one of the ones I would have bought from Roman Szmal if I didn't already have one. I think that's Permanent Rose or something. I'm quite sure that's a PV19, and that is a PV19 as well. So no point in buying that. This one, I remember what is that is Chinese orange, and it's a fantastic color. I remember some random ones here. Senior's blue is one. I like it, but it's just a phthalo blue mixed with white, so I don't really need it. That one was a misbuy. I wanted a green gold, and this one is called like bright green yellow, and it's a mixed pigment yellow green. There's nothing wrong with it. I just mistook it for green gold, which it is absolutely not. So that is one just to get used, and we met and it's fine. So those are two that has to go. So yeah, there's no bad colors in here. There's just maybe some that I might not replace. There's two of these that I can't replace, like that light red and the transparent brown oxide. They have been discontinued from Rembrandt. And these two will also not continue in this palette once I've used up these two pans. I got them in my Schminke set, but these are just duplets. So there will be room for fun stuff in here, but to make room, gotta paint something. And I'm gonna do kind of like an abstracty kind of landscape. I've got my salt here, and yeah, I reuse salt, so that's why it has funny colors. I did get some Hahnemühle tape. It's new, and it should work well with their paper, I hope. I'm not sure if I want to tape things up. Yeah, let's tape things up. Let's try it. I'll try the white one, the broad one. It comes in 3 widths. I'm not sure. Let's see. Let's say this one's 1.5 centimeters. And that one is like 1 centimeter. And 2.5. So this one, the white one, is about 1 inch wide. I think we need some more background lights for the future. We need another lamp or 2. And the fumble curse of filming has hit me again. There we go. Oops, better cover that corner, otherwise I just know I'm gonna get paint there. Okay, if you have problems with the paint running in under the tape, I got a trick that I figured out. Because I was taking a course earlier this year where we needed some lifting preparation. Not something I ever tried before, but I found out if you put some on the tape, then it seals off tape a little bit, so your paint doesn't run under as easy. Don't use a whole ton, just a little bit. Now lifting preparation, or lift off medium as this is, I think the lifting preparation is the Winsor Newton name for it. It helps so that it's easier to lift watercolor off paper, and that way, let's just give the whole sheet a coat, because otherwise I'm afraid it's gonna show. Yeah, it gives you the benefit of both cellulose paper, which let you lift off watercolor easier than you can on cotton paper. But here I put it on 100% cotton paper, and then I get the better archival qualities of the cotton at the same time. So it needs to spread out nicely and then dry. Apparently you could put on several layers. I put too much on one time, and the paint wouldn't stick at all. So I'll just give it this one coat, and then we are going to let it sit and dry, and then you're just going to paint like normal. So drying pause. Okay, it is dry, and I think we got a little bit of the flicker back because it still depend on a regular lamp on the side. So I'm not sure I can fit everything under the camera as it is. I've zoomed in a little tight, or actually I moved the camera in tight. There we go. So I have to tell you what I'm putting on here rather than show you. I can maybe move things a little bit, but yeah, it's not easy. There we go. So one of the colors I bought was Nickel Azo Yellow, and that's this one. It's a super bright yellow, so it needs a lot of water. Yeah, see, that's when that stuff is, you put too much lifting preparation on, or lifting aid, it can kind of repel the water a bit. Let's hope it's not too much of a problem. And the green gold was the other yellow I bought. And I want to compare those two to that green from Sennelier, the bright green, yellow green. This is this one. And it's close enough, so if you didn't have especially the Azo Yellow, you could use this one. So that lift off medium doesn't work well with this paper. It's the Which is what's it called? Expression from Hannah Muller. I don't use lifting aid with that. Good. So we need something green, and I got this autumn green. From Roman Szmal. And I'm gonna use some of the Sennelier's blue. Oh, some green and yellow in that from Schminke. Yeah, but I keep saying Schminke and I mean Sennelier. That got a little lot greener than I expected, but hey. Things being meant to be somewhat abstract today, we'll go with that. Well, the benefit of having been painting abstract for a while makes me a lot less worried about things that doesn't quite go as planned, like dirty brushes or runny paints. Okay, I'm gonna voice over some of this because there were some noises and things. So yeah, abstract has really helped my painting process because yeah, I have gotten even better at just letting things be what they are and work with it. So let's add some Aquarius green there in the middle. I accidentally put a little bit of Perlin green in there, but that was okay. And that Hugo's green that I needed to use, let's add some of that. I had some transparent brown oxide that I added to that because it needed to get evened out a bit. And yeah, you can see on the right hand side there's a little black spot, and that's because the last of that brown oxide actually had really no binder in it anymore, so it was weird and clumpy. But the pan was pretty much empty, so I just used that up and yeah, tossed the pan. Or I tossed it into a rinsing jar, that's all. And now, if you look at the left side, there's a couple of stripes where that lift off medium, I hadn't applied that very well. So let's just put in a couple of trees to cover that up. I hoped that this would help and that those very visible brushstroke might look like just texture on the tree trunks. It didn't quite work out, so we gotta go back to that eventually. I had planned on putting some foreground trees in. It was probably not just quite there, but hey. So yeah, that brush was too big for that, so we use a smaller one. And that lift-off medium actually makes corrections really easy because the paint comes right off if you dab it with a little bit of paper or towel or something. So I'm just starting to indicate some trees here in the background. We're by far not finished, but so yeah, just try to make them a little uneven, and there was one that was tipped over there, and so, and the mixture of that was mostly Aquarius green and iron chrome brown. I mostly used the Roman Szmal paints here with a little bit of Sennelier especially. Yeah, I changed my mind about that. So and I didn't really get that corrected, so there's some pale spots there for the rest of this painting. And yeah, I'm trying to hold the brush upright to get some good flicks and indications of grass. It's a bit too flat, but we'll work on that. Yeah. I want to add some salt, but it's a bit wet, so I'm trying to spread out the paint that I got. Took a sponge and dabbed off some, added some salt, and we're gonna let that dry and take it off again. There was half an hour of drying time between there, and those trunks still doesn't really work well. Got a daggerable brush there that I'm trying my luck with. I'm trying to mix a pale color because I want to add some reeds in the middle there, but it didn't work very well. It was too pale, and it just kind of vanished in with the background. That's sometimes how things go. You misjudge the colors a little bit. Try to darken it, and there's some reflections that bothers me. Just trying to add some things there. But we got methods to fix things. Trying to get some shadows and some seed heads in there, and definitely at the very ugly stage right now. So add some darks if you need your painting to go anywhere. Yeah, and here I got a rake brush, and I'm sorry for holding my hand in over it, but it works better if you hold it straight up and down, if you want the benefit of those rake strokes. I do try at some point to show you what I do. I stamp it on more than I paint, really. I push down and flick it a little bit. Yeah, there was some of it I wasn't happy with, so dab off some paint and let it dry and go again. And I want to use it also for the treetops over there, and it's the same problem again with my hand being in the way. I'm trying to show you what I'm doing. On the green I mixed there, I mixed some of the Cineros blue from Sennelier into the Aquarius green because I wanted it to be a little more blue than the foreground colors. It's just an old-fashioned landscape trick. It wasn't too blue though, and sometimes you hear people complain that they are afraid they can't mix the same color twice, and it is actually not a problem. I kind of add to that mixture the whole time I'm painting, and it's actually okay if it's not the same all the time. It is more interesting if there's some variations in it. Just use the same pigments or paints that you used for part of it, and also variate the amount of water you get in there. You get much more visual interest if it's not all the same color. It is kind of the same color because you mixed it with the same things. It's just like the amount of water and the amount of one pigment versus the other that varies a bit, and it looks way more interesting when I'm trying to get my palette in because it's zoomed in a bit. And here I try with a dark mixture of green. There's a good deal of perling green in this mixture, but again, it's mostly the Aquarius green I've used, and a little bit of that Sennelier blue, because I still wanted the harmony with the background. And yeah, those trees are not looking good because of the mishap. So let's fix it with some colored pencils, or watercolor pencils, Albrecht Dürer. And they came to my aid because I wanted also to fix some things. And I pushed pretty hard down because I wanted lots and lots of pigment on there. Some people don't like watercolor pencils because they have a tendency to be somewhat opaque. In this instance, that was a benefit because I actually managed to cover up that ugly brush stroke there. And I added some walnut brown and, I don't remember, a dark green. And lots of it, like pushed in really, really hard. And I considered using a green from the Caran d'Ache Museum Aquarelle, but decided against it. I just stuck with Albrecht Dürer. We activated the paint here, and actually that worked quite well. I also got a couple of corrections. Yeah, I should probably have cut that out. That was a discussion I had with telling colors apart in the palette. So with one down, let's do the other one and get that corrected. It also added some more contrast in the entire painting, so it was actually quite okay. I like that bump on one tree, so I actually ended up adding another. Like, there's an old branch broken off there. There we go. So that was that fix. Now we just need to fix everything else. So turn things upside down, so not to put your hand through wet paint. That's the benefit of using a block of paper, so that you can move it around. Darken up those trunks and add some more. I could actually have done that with the colored pencils as well. That would have been quite easy. But a detailer can do it as well. There we go. And it's kind of funny because when I paint like this, I actually look a lot on the screen. So sometimes I will try to fix something that I can see on the screen, and it turns out to be something entirely different. So my camera is hyping up the contrast. So this wet paint looks far, far darker than it did on the paper in actuality. But it pales down when it dries, and it actually ended up looking quite okay. And it did need those contrasts over there, so it wasn't so flat. Yeah, I'll try and work on those reeds again. Put some paint on there. And wanted to fix some things and needed some more grass and some more color and stuff over there. And I should have fixed the white spot in the water in the background, but I didn't. So just work on the foreground grass here. And again, just mixing different colors into that green. I think I used a good deal of that azo niggle yellow to some of it, and for the foreground I mostly used the autumn green that I bought. It's a little warmer than the Aquarius green that I used mostly in the background. Again, it's that old trick with landscapes that have the warmer colors in the foreground and the colder in the background. So I've been picking out some more colored pencils because this didn't work. I don't think I can get it to work. So I am gonna try with some colored pencils to see if I can, and they're freshly sharpened, get them to stand out a little more. There we go. I'm not a purist when it comes to paint. Whatever makes things work goes. Technically, this is still watercolor because it's watercolor pencils I'm using to do the last fixes with. I'm just not gonna activate it. I think that was not the plan, anyways. Because of the contrast on the camera now this looks way more visible on the camera than it does in reality. I don't know if there's enough white in this one to show here. Seems like there is on my side of the camera, not on the camera. If I get it up closer, maybe. Come on, camera, focus. Even though it's out of focus, I think you can see it. I think I'll do like this and then add the green on top. could have gone for some gouache for that, but I won't. So yeah, now you can tell it's there. So a little bit more of the brown on there. Is that a reflection? That's a reflection actually that I'm trying to cover. Can't do that. Good. I think it is as it's gonna be. And I'll zoom out again. Yeah, and after the world's most embarrassing tape peel that I forgot to film, here is the result, and I'm just dating and signing this, and that's what came out of today's painting. Thank you all for watching, and please like, subscribe, and come back again. Take care. Bye bye.